for us, it was very clear. I mean, at the beginning, we also didn't have any money or nothing, so we just did everything, right? And that means product, like
As you do,
working on the software and selling it. Basically, it's the main thing, building and trying to sell, or at least like talking to customers. And then the first thing for us where we were able to get some time to focus a bit more on the sales part was, or in general building the company, was in engineering. So even if we have a technical background, it kind of made sense that we have some people supporting us to write code. And so that doesn't mean we kind of lost touch or kind of step back from the product, but that it gave us some more time to build other things of the company, like other parts, like just processes, getting our kind of insurance license. We're kind of licensed as MJ, so we didn't have to go for like a full stack license, but still there was some work to be done, partnerships. So I think it's important, and still till today, that we're very close to the product, but for us it was engineering, so we had some people helping us to build the product. Yeah.
And for you, Judith?
For us, it was a bit similar, actually. So the first couple of hires were very much focused on the product and being able to produce that product and making sure that the quality of these products is good. So having somebody for the food safety part was crucial for us. That was actually our first hire. She was responsible for quality and supply chain, and supply chain back then meant that she was the one taking the cargo bike to deliver the products to our customers. So product and quality at first, and then very soon we hired somebody for brand, because for us, besides product, the brand was really important to build it up, consumer brand. There we hired somebody with a bit more experience, but still like hands-on enough to make something out of a small marketing budget. And we also hired really early on an HR, or a head of talent and culture, actually. So this was one of the earliest hires. I think she started on the same day with me. We were back then 15 people, and she's still with us in the company.
Why did you prioritize that choice? Or why head of HR and talent?
I think for us back then, it was pretty clear that in order to make a successful company, you have to build a great culture and get the right people on board. So investing on the talent and culture side meant for us that we have good processes to choose the right people to hire and get them up to speed really quickly, and get basically a good like culture and values into the company, that with like a growing number of people you can basically generate more output rather than less per person.
We'll get to that processes, talent management a bit later. Laurent, in tech, how did that work for you then at Holycode?
Well, first wanted to throw out the comparison with mobile, where for us it was a bit different. Even though it was a tech marketplace platform, Nenad was my tech co-founder. So the first people we hired were actually not techies. The first people we hired were sales, marketing, customer care, and then we started hiring more technical employees, because for us it was really important to prove, that was 2014. It was really important to prove to investors first that we can actually create revenue, that this marketplace that was really stitched together somehow by Nenad and me can actually provide enough value for clients. So for us, this was really, we needed the sales to help us get to moving in cleaning companies. We needed marketing to attract people onto the platform, and the customer care employee, or customer success, as you would call it today, to make sure that we actually deliver the right value. And only after that, we started hiring developers or engineers. In Holycode, obviously, it's a bit a different game. There, it was all about engineers from day one. And we hired sales and marketing in year 9. So last year, we started hiring sales and marketing. Until then, it was basically only engineers, plus some HR to support onboarding the right people, also as Judith said, to make sure that we have the right kind of people in the company culturally, and making sure that the processes work well. So yeah, I think it can be super different depending on the startup or the company that you're working for, and what is the essence of getting the proof of concept or the next step in your journey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe can I quickly add to this? I think it's also very much dependent on who's the founding team and what kind of skills you have in the founding team, right?
Absolutely.
So that needs to be complemented.
Judith, any learnings you can share or mistakes that you've made, or that you say, oh, we wouldn't do that again. That we learned that the hard way, that it's not working.
That's a broad question. Like in terms of hiring, I think like we did have 1 year in our company history. I think that was 2022, where we hired many people. I think we went from 100 to over 200, I think, in a year. We had some months, I think September 2022, we had 30 new people starting in 1 month. I wouldn't hire as many people again at the time. I think it's very challenging to onboard people as quickly. And what it resulted in, having so many new people coming in, is that basically in 2022, certain tasks were basically performed by a person only once before it was then handed over to the next person who was newly hired. And then you never get better at what you do, like be it only like the very simple tasks and repetitive tasks. I think driving excellence in certain processes early on makes scaling easier, less painful. And we just handed on certain tasks basically from the intern to the intern of the intern, so to say. Like that's a bit over exaggerated, of course, but through that we always did this, like our employees always did the same mistakes again, and we couldn't become better as quickly.
One thing is, how do you find these people? Were you involved in the hiring process of hiring all these 30 people? When did you say, okay, now we're no longer involved? How did that hiring process evolve, and how, how much were you involved in, defining the job description? This is a lot of work. And then also make sure the onboarding process, to which we'll come a bit later on as well. How closely were you involved? And also afterwards for you, Greg, how do you do this now? As in, you need to do fundraising, you need to do everything. It's still a small company. How closely are you still involved in this process?
So for us, I think it was only a very few months where we were not involved in every interview. And then we very quickly stopped that again. So also up until now, we're in the last round of a candidate. We're at least spending, like, if it's only 15 minutes, but at least giving the go for the candidate for actually every role. So one of the founders is always involved.
From our side, it's the same, of course. Like founders are always involved. Usually, both of us. Someone takes the lead, but like there's always like a lunch, or like at least we try to, like, if possible, to have a lot of physical interactions, or even a lunch or like a coffee with a candidate, with both of us. The person leading the hiring process is anyway still more involved at our stage, so present at the assignment stage if they like doing a case study on an assignment, but also maybe even the first phone screening often. So yeah, we really also like to spend time with the candidates. We maybe at our stage also can have the luxury to do that a bit more, right? But also something we learned is like really to take the time. I mean, with candidates, which can sometimes be hard because you really want to fill that role, and potentially you still often actually you do the work yourself, right? In finance or in like sales or in product, and then it's hard to say, I don't feel it, let's wait, and it could take a few more months, and you have to kind of bite on your tongue, kind of just do the work yourself. It's hard, but long term it really pays off if you don't feel it. Yeah.